The mission of education, to touch and transform individuals, is as old as Socrates. But the way people reach, influence, and work with each other in the 21st century is not. Learning to meet the challenges of a rapidly changing world is a dynamic process, and it all begins with education.
In the history of our country, public education is the one single institution that has contributed to the most to our overall success. I don't think there's anything that's more important to a democratic way of life than access to public education, whether it be kindergarten through 12th grade community college or higher education.
We cannot expect today's educators to successfully teach our children without up-to-date effective tools. They cannot measure megabytes with a wooden ruler. Teachers need to be prepared to think differently and be taught themselves with models that work in today's classrooms.
You have to think differently about curriculum, differently about the experiences, differently about what leadership means today. That happens by thinking differently, and that's the relationship that's been there with the University of Oregon.
The University of Oregon College of Education does more than educate and mold the teachers of tomorrow. This is a school whose pioneering research is improving teaching practices and instructional methods in our nation's classrooms. Renowned for our expertise in designing and implementing effective teaching practices, the College of Education is one of the top public colleges of education in the country. Our research and outreach services serve thousands of schools in 38 states.
I can tell you that University of Oregon has made a huge difference in our school district and in our school. We have grown from a school that sort of did the right thing to now a school that is using the best practice, and it's making a huge difference for our kids and families.
The College of Education has both undergraduate, professional licensure, and doctoral degree programs. Those programs span careers in early intervention, school psychology, special education, counseling, psychology and human services, marriage and family therapy, education leadership, and teacher education.
I think my experiences here and the training I've received, both in quantitative and qualitative methodology, is going to be extremely important to me as a researcher, as an academic who's continuing to work on studying teachers.
The value of the college is enormous. It's one of the crown jewels in our state and an economic powerhouse for the University of Oregon. The University of Oregon College of Education generated more than $25 million of external funding for educational research last year alone, almost $500,000 per faculty member, placing it in the top 3 of the country for productivity for the last 4 years.
But with this success, the college has truly reached a crossroads. Enrollment has increased 300% in the last decade. The classroom space has not. To meet current teaching, learning, clinical, and research needs, the college requires 100% more space, including a new integrated teaching clinic, where student practitioners serve the many community members who access speech and hearing services, counseling or therapy, and preparation in early intervention for infants and toddlers. Brenda Napudi utilized the current clinic at the college for services for her son Nicholas, who had been undergoing speech therapy due to a severe cleft lip at birth.
I'd like to say that I am so impressed with the clinicians and the entire program, with the care that they've given our son Nicholas and the education they've actually provided for me as a parent. I learned so much, and I honestly believe it came from their heart. They really care about what they're doing.
The importance of this work requires appropriate facilities. Currently, the college provides insufficient workspace for 1 in 3 members of the faculty and staff, and 20% of the space is classified as substandard or not meeting accessibility requirements. This suitcase is Assistant Professor Jill Baxter's classroom. Due to the lack of proper classroom space, Professor Baxter, an expert in mathematics, must carry all of her necessary instructional materials with her, a classroom on wheels.
What we need are tables, we need more laboratory facilities. It's not conducive. I can't model the teaching I want them to do with their students, given the facilities we have here at the university right now.
Currently, the college's academic, research, and outreach programs are dispersed in 21 sites throughout the campus and the city of Eugene, with the newest building having been constructed in 1980. The others date as far back as 1921. But this is about to change. Thanks to the generous support of donors, alumni, and friends of the college, the new University of Oregon College of Education building project will create a coherent education complex, linking existing buildings with a new specialized education facility that includes research and academic offices, conference and problem of practice rooms, a clinic, and classrooms equipped with technology to provide access from off-campus locations.
This building that we're trying to create will be the first national beacon of a standard that states that educators need specialized teaching and learning spaces.
Learning spaces that will enable students to collaborate, share their ideas, and examine their performance as teachers and clinicians.
Going along with a lot of the things that I've learned about teaching, it's more of a cooperative, collaborative effort.
In addition, our faculty will finally have the opportunity to fully use what they know about the critical stages of professional development.
I see this facility as literally being a bridge between the research that we're doing and the work of teachers in the schools. We can meet in this building, this wonderful facility, and build an understanding, see how the research can apply to their classroom settings.
The messages that are coming out of the University of Oregon are exactly the messages that are proving helpful to schools. The new building will create for us the opportunity to get that message right to the doorstep of people who need it most.
Building a state-of-the-art facility is only the first part of the strategy. Recruiting and retaining an excellent faculty is equally critical. Faculty guide students who are passionate about learning and teaching others. But not all ambitious future educators can afford the opportunity.
The Jeanette Gunther Drew Scholarship has just been, it's been my lifeline here. Because without it, I would probably have to take out all student loans to pay for my education.
Supporting professorships for outstanding faculty and creating scholarships for students not only make dreams a reality, but also help further the goal of developing a better education system for our nation's children.
Part of what we're doing is we're changing the opportunities that children have in schools.
Opportunities provided by the University of Oregon College of Education are what inspire alumni like Principal Karen Twain.
We continually are getting support from the University of Oregon, and they're making our science of education a easier and better way. We're using best practice because of the University of Oregon.
The University of Oregon College of Education, learning to transform lives.